Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sports Place where we talk sports and have sports debates. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe below, and let's get the show started. Okay, so we're about a month into the Olympics now, and for the past week, the Simone Biles situation has been flipping and turning and doing all kinds of tricks, just like she would do. But is she going to land on her feet since she's coming back in for the balance beam competition? What do you think about the whole situation, and how happy are you that she's going to be back?
Well, I'll take this lead on this. I'm very happy that she's going to be back, and I support and still heavily support the whole situation with her taking a break due to mental health. Because at the end of the day, if you're not your best self, you're going to go out there, you're going to be thinking too much, which could cause injuries and cause you not to put out your best performance, which we know we don't want that for her because all she's done is done gold, 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 gold. So her coming back, there is going to be no fall off. I feel like it wouldn't have been no fall off even if she chose to compete because she's just that good. She does things that other athletes cannot do and probably never will be able to do. So even with her not being on her A game, I still feel like she would have placed gold for the USA. But with her coming back, she's going to have a little chip on her shoulder. I feel like because everybody wants her to come back and not be the best. So with that being in her mind, I feel like she's going to go out, show the world that you can take a break for your mental health and come back and be on the same level, if not better. So I feel like it's going to be really big with her coming back to the scene, especially with the balance beam. She's still amazing at everything she does. So I'm excited to see her come back and see her prove the haters and those naysayers wrong. So Simone, welcome back. Hope you took the real needed break that you needed or the time that you needed and not rushing back. You know what I'm saying? Because we want you to be at 100%. So yeah, welcome back, Simone.
Yeah, I'm behind you, but I also believe there's an emotional response to this situation and a logical response to this situation. Um, and I kind of fall more on the side of the logical response. Like, I'm glad that she took the break. I'm glad that she took it for mental health. And honestly, I thought it was more for physical health. And I thought it was the rehabilitation aspect of the mental health that she was really more focused on. Like, she was doing a lot of maneuvers that most gymnasts cannot do, and even other gymnasts said it was dangerous. And like, she was, and what she was doing on the floor exercises was dangerous. And she was, if you saw her actually fall off the mat at one point, she wasn't landing correctly. She's a little bit older than most, like, and honestly in the gymnastics world, she's ancient. She's 24, and like, you're 24, 20, that's nothing, but that's a really young person's sport. So there's a lot of things she's doing at a older age than most of the other people that are active in the sport that have really taken to effect. So she is gonna need those longer breaks in between events. So I think one thing, I don't know if this is going to be her last Olympics. She can compete for however long she wants to. But in game planning for the future, you really can't operate. You can't compete in every sport or every event. You really have to realize, well, you know, even Tom Brady, realizes there's things you have to do differently in order to keep that longevity in the
Longevity.
sport. Longevity in the sport. You can't just cramp up. Even if you can do everything, maybe you shouldn't do everything from moving forward, because you are going to need those breaks, and you can't put your body through those twists and turns and expect perfection, perfection, perfection. It's such a high standard. It's such a high. It really is. She set the bar on everything. She's competing against herself at this point. She says it like the judges don't. They don't even know how to score her because they want it to be fair. But it's like, don't score it like that. Score it correctly. Score it based off of what you see, not based off everything. And if you keep making a curve for me, it's never going to be fair, and it's never going to expand the sport of gymnastics in that sense, where people are trying to copy off of Simone and do these maneuvers, and records keep getting broken and broken, and that's how things expand. But I'm just saying all that to say this: she did have a lot to deal with. I kind of just fell on the logical response where it was she needed a break. You're competing at the highest level day in day out, and you've been practicing for forever. And when it came to crunch time, you had to decide on if you like walking normally or if you want this gold medal. And honestly, at that point, walking normally for the rest of your life and saying, "Hey, I'm going to take some time off," made more sense. And so that's where I kind of fall along the lines. I see a lot of people saying it was brave, and I kind of was like, I don't know if it was brave, and that's where like I had a lot of pushback when talking to some people, because I was like, I don't know if the word brave is the word I would use. I would just say smart. She needed a break, and hey, we call it, and it took a toll on her physically, and that led to some a mental break, not a mental break, but a mental need for a break. So she took it, and regardless if it was the Olympics or not, it was just the right time. And as we can see, because she did that, she can come back, as opposed to trying her hardest for one event. God forbid something goes wrong, knock on wood, God forbid, and then completely demolishing her career. Take the break as needed. Awesome, smart move. Keep doing what you need to do, especially to win those gold medals, because you're going to go out there and win the gold medal on the balance beam now. So instead of risking it at all for,
one.
Yeah. So
yeah, I was going to say,
Also,
if it's not brave, I would at least say strong, because she's under a lot of pressure. So she could, cave to the pressure and go ahead and do what her body is telling her not to do. Which isn't that what happened with? Is it Carrie Scruggs, the one that performed with a broken ankle or a messed up ankle, a hurt ankle, and it's still like damaged now. So she'll ever have this like injury.
also, two things I want to piggyback on what you said. As far as like her deserving a break, the work she's put in over the years, even her with being her 24 years old, the things she's done garners her a break. Like if LeBron said he wanted to take a break from a game, people will understand that, because the work he's put in over the years. Even though she's young, she's old in her sport. And speaking of old in her sport, the second thing too is there's a 46-year-old Olympian this year in the 2021 Olympics, who's competing in her last so-called Olympics. So if there is someone out here, 46-year-old, still competing, we know Simone can compete as long as she wants to, and as long as her body can. But like he said, it's just a time frame for peak gymnast eliteness. I'm not saying this woman that's 46-year-old is still not one of the good ones, because she obviously has to still be good to be going to the Olympics. But we never know. The age thing is like it's an anomaly sometimes.
Can I throw the scenario since you brought it up? Like if LeBron is in the championships and he says, "I need a break," aren't you gonna be like, "Bron, really now?" Like as a fan,
but you gotta realize
you're gonna be like, "Yo, you Olympics put in all the work."
Olympics, the finals are 7 games.
Yeah,
well, I can see that. But the Olympics,
it's only once in 4 years at that point. So it's even the pressure is even so much more immense. Like it's only once every 4 years.
You're seeing him play regularly. All this with the gymnasts, especially, like most people aren't seeing all the events that they're doing leading up to it. They're not, it's not televised as much as, an NBA game is. So they're not seeing all the time and effort and hard work that they're putting into it. They just, every 4 years when they show up.
Also, you got to realize, for them to be competing for so long, they're still training and doing something every day. So that's a lot on the body. So taking one event off, whereas I'm going to be doing probably 10 more, it doesn't really affect the way if LeBron would miss a whole game in a potentially 4 to 7 series games, 4 to 7 game series. It's like it's different, holds different amount of weight, even though the magnitude of the athlete is there, but there's more time to see Simone in a finals kind of like setting. As far as with LeBron, if he misses that one game, the other team could take over within that 4. You know what I mean? But that's always up in the air, you know what I mean? It's all about how you feel about certain people and how you see these things, or even with gymnastics, just knowing what it takes to be a gymnast. I would never know. I would not be out there doing flipping and tumbling. So I commend anybody who has the courage to do a backflip, because that's the first step in the backflip. They tell you, you got to be not to be upside down, and which
I
that
can do
other
one
falling
flip, but I won't get back up. That's just it.
But we appreciate you guys coming out. Thanks for tuning into another episode of the Sports Place. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you feel about the Simone situation. If you're excited to have her back, let us know. If you wanted to keep on taking this break, let us know. We appreciate you, everything you guys do for us. Tune in, man. See you guys soon.